everyone, and thank you for joining us after lunch. I know it's so tempting to go take a nap. But I've learned so much from all of you, and I'm really excited to share anything that can make your life a little bit easier. So my name is Jessie Young, and I'm the Scholarly Communications Librarian at William H. Hennon Library at the Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. I have been there for about 9.5 years. Today I'll be talking about how we're using our instance of Pure4EGS, which replaced selected works for us, alongside Digital Commons to streamline our IR workflows. So I'll admit up front, I created this presentation while my household was battling the flu. So the slides themselves are not very robust, and I'm sorry, but because of that, I've placed a small flyer on the tables that include resources and details that I will reference today that didn't make the slide deck that I submitted to the conference team. So huge my bad, but yeah. So before diving into the workflow itself, let's set the scene. LMU is a private Jesuit and Marymount institution founded in 1911, located in Los Angeles, and we are an R2. We serve over 10,000 students across our undergraduate, graduate, and law programs, and we have 644 full-time faculty. Now, if there's anything you must remember about LMU other than how awesome our library is that two of the screenwriters from K-pop Demon Hunters graduated from LMU, and the cinematographer of Sinners is also an LMU alumnus. So just, what did you learn? That's what you learned. Okay, so William H. Hennon Library has 48 staff members, including 24 librarians. We employ over 100 student workers each semester, and we have had Digital Commons since 2011, which means our institutional repository is 15 years old. And as a side note, what makes us a little bit different is even though I'm the Scholarly Communications Librarian, I actually am housed in Acquisitions and Collections Development, which is rather unusual. In 2024, I conducted a survey of over 1,000 of LMU's full-time, part-time, emeritus faculty and librarians about self-archiving. And I had about a 28% participation rate, but my survey was adapted from the University of Toronto's Faculty Awareness, Attitudes, and Practices regarding scholarly communications. And from that survey, I learned several important things. 65% of our participants believe that LMU should consider an open access mandate. 53% reported they already publish open access content. 70% of our faculty share their publications online, and they are motivated by visibility, communications of research findings, expanded readership, and professional recognition. 85% of the respondents felt comfortable sharing their final author manuscripts, and 77% of our respondents heard about Digital Commons. So with that, we decided we also learned that faculty's biggest barrier to submitting their work to any IR, not just ours, and so the biggest issue for self-archiving was time. So as a result, we completely threw out the scholarly communications talking points, and rewrote the script from the ground up. So we don't talk about open access, because they know. We don't talk about Digital Commons, because they know. So instead, we try to focus on our transformative agreements for free and discounted article processing charges, so they start publishing open access regularly. Okay, so previously our IR workflow relied heavily on an annual CV request sent via email, and faculty responses, when they came, would arrive months later. So we rotated outreach to colleges and supplemented this work with Google Scholar alerts. to track new publications and follow up individually with faculty about self-archiving in Digital Commons. From there, I would manually review citations, and then student workers entered metadata by hand into spreadsheets. And then we would conduct copyright checks one at a time, and they would slowly get into Digital Commons. Very similar workflow for all of us. And as you know, this process is extremely tedious, time-consuming, email-heavy, and difficult to sustain. Like, joy is so hard to find in this workflow. So especially when the result is an IR that is often out of date, they've never felt like a light at the end of the tunnel. So when selected works was sunsetted, the library administration decided to continue offering faculty profiling services, and so we migrated to Pure4EGS. Pure4EGS is massively different than selected works since it's a research information management system, but it allows for automated citation harvesting from sources like Scopus and Web of Science. So every Friday for us, it pulls publication data from multiple platforms and provides a centralized place for us to see faculty research. And a huge plus is that the open access articles are automatically tagged. So we are able to move from CV-like chasing to working with publication data that was more current and easier to act on. Now, to be clear, I am not trying to advertise Pure licenses. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But instead, if you're like me and had Pure added to your administrative duties, there are ways to leverage Pure to make your IR life easier. Also, I'm in the North American Pure user group leadership team, so if you have questions about Pure from a client's perspective, I am not shy about talking about it, not when it's recorded. Okay, so on a high level, this is what our new workflow looks like. First, citations are harvested directly into Pure4EGS. Then we perform a quality control on the metadata and confirm open access status, or whether there's a preprint or postprint available elsewhere using Paywall or any of the Chrome apps. Then we tag the works for Digital Commons using a classification scheme that we created in Pure4EGS. And then all the records tagged to be added to Digital Commons are routinely exported to a Google spreadsheet. And our library assistant uses this spreadsheet as a tracking mechanism so he knows what to upload into Digital Commons. So one of the biggest improvements is how quickly we can identify open access content and add open access articles to Digital Commons. This allows us to quickly prioritize faculty who have works that can be added into Digital Commons. So I'm no longer spending days reviewing CVs and conducting copyright reviews for each individual article. Instead, we know what is open access and we can get into Digital Commons immediately and then engage with the faculty through a conversation with the works they already have open access. As a result, our Digital Commons instance looks much more up to date. Our most recent faculty work is from this year, not 2 years ago, which is very nice. And this makes our more appealing for faculty and university administration. So overall, this process has been far more efficient. With that being said, the Pure4EGS and Digital Commons isn't perfect. Our Digital Commons instance is organized by department, so unlike previous speakers where they had like a big bucket where all your faculty works get deposited into a collection, we are individual departments, which makes utilizing the harvesting tool between Pure4EGS and Digital Commons a little tedious for us, especially for only adding 1 or 2 publications to a department. Instead, I export the pure metadata to a Google spreadsheet for tracking and quality control, and then we can filter the spreadsheet by department, and when our library assistant has time, he can go in and do a batch upload of a spreadsheet or enter items manually into Digital Commons, depending on the volume of records that we receive. Then our library assistant adds the Digital Commons persistent URL to the faculty's Pure4EGS record. So the publication record has not only has the DOI, but also a link to the IR in their Pure4EGS profile. So it's not automated, but it is structured. It's far more predictable than it was before and far less chaotic than our previous workflow. And just as a side note, our implementation of Pure4EGS has allowed us to better showcase our faculty's work and labor in thesis and dissertation advising. So we linked all of our honors theses, graduate theses, dissertations housed in Digital Commons into the faculty's Pure4EGS profile. And faculty really love this. It's to the point where they're like, excuse me, I had a publication by a student that, submitted a thesis, where is it? And I'm like, man, your graduation was like a week ago. Take a breath. But being able to connect their advising work directly with their academic profiles has become a major selling point for Pure4EGS. And faculty really love using Digital Commons to showcase outstanding student work. And being able to link these two profiles has been very useful for them. So Digital Commons and Pure4EGS, we call it Scholars at LMU, has really uplifted each other. Now, the workflow does require a lot of teamwork, so our staffing includes one librarian, me, and approximately 15 to 30% of a library assistant's time and about 20 hours a week from undergraduate assistants. Truly, our student workers are a lifeline to our entire IR workflow, and I have given a separate presentation about training and entrusting student workers on IR responsibilities called Go the Distance, which is linked in the flyer. One major benefit from this new approach is less manual data entry and research and more time on strategic scholarly communications work. So, thanks to this workflow, we now have expanded scholarly communication services for faculty. We work more with our research centers, and I am trying to rebrand and update all of our Digital Commons journals. Yeah, we'll get there. But we have shifted more of my efforts towards promoting transformative agreements that we have through our consortium, so that faculty publish open access, and as a result, we have more work that can be added to Digital Commons. So I assist more faculty with publishing decisions by reviewing their abstracts or providing a tailored list of journals included in our transformative agreement, or by reviewing journals faculty are already considering. So, we have also started to help our student run open access journals in Digital Commons with formatting and branding support, so their work represents our academic rigor. Altogether, this approach has allowed us to have a more support for open scholarship and think more strategically and broadly. Okay. To wrap up, I want to summarize the benefits of really taking the time to figure out how to utilize Pure4EGS and get that data harvested there into Digital Commons. It has allowed us to ingest open access materials faster, so we have more current IR, enhanced and up-to-date faculty and visibility, and a workflow that is more sustainable for our team. Now, this isn't a painless workflow because metadata cleanup is no joke, and we have to train our student employees in two systems, Digital Commons and Pure4EGS. And we really need amazing student workers, but they graduate every 4 years, and we are constantly training new student workers, which is very exhausting, so that there's no break in our workflow. But our documentation is fire, and it's gorgeous, so we'll be okay. Right now, we are extremely dependent on how well the Pure platform communicates with Scopus and Web of Science, and we are dependent on Pure4EGS itself. And we don't know if that's a good thing yet, but given its costs, overall, bridging Pure4EGS and Digital Commons workflows has been a very meaningful step for us for workflow sustainability in our library. So, before I step away from the microphone, I wanted to highlight a few projects, especially in connection with the excellent OER discussion we had yesterday. So LMU is among several private institutions that received a $1.5 million grant to support faculty creating OERs. And it resulted in 11 OER textbooks published in Pressbooks, but they're also linked in our Digital Commons. More recently, we received an OER Marketing and Events Advocacy Toolkit grant. And the toolkit that we're creating provides librarians and faculty with adaptable marketing materials and strategic and advocacy strategies, including stickers, poster, campaign ideas, talking points for tenure and promotion packets, and guidance on communicating OER impact to faculty and university administration. And this toolkit will be published this summer. So if you'd like to get notified about our marketing OER toolkit, there's a Google form on the QR code where you can leave your email address and we'll notify you when it's officially published on Pressbooks. And then finally, many LMU reference and instruction librarians are actively publishing on AI literacy in the classroom, and I encourage you to explore our colleagues' works in Digital Commons, and I think they're highly relevant to the conversations we're having here at EIC. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I'm happy to answer questions and talk more.